What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table, we have another Game of Thrones card game 2nd edition tournament video for you, brought to you by these awesome folks who donate to the channel on patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. In this Canadian Nationals Round 1 of Swiss match, we got Michael playing Tyrell Rains of Casimir. We got John playing Targaryen Banner of the Kraken. And it looks like on the Tyrell side, on the left, Michael has set up Paxter Redwyn. And the Arbor, not a bad start. Assuming he doesn't get marched, but I mean, it's not the worst thing to get marched, I guess. But if he doesn't, he's getting a +4 gold bonus there and a reduction on his first event he plays. So not a bad economic start. Just only 2 cards, though. So it's a little rough on the card side. But his opponent got a 4-card start there with Baby Theon Greyjoy and Drogon, it looks like, and Viserion, and a Rose Road. I think the Tyrell player should open with First Snow of Winter. I'm only joking, but that would be funny. So it's the second match of round 1 here that I posted on the channel. If you want to go see the other one, go check out the playlist on Rob's Gaming Table on YouTube. And John being a nice guy here on the right, telling Michael not to put his cards so low so his opponent can't see them. And it looks like we're just waiting on the Tyrell player here to choose his plot before we get going. If you like these Game of Thrones videos, slap that like button. Always slap that like button. Help other people find these videos, find this game when they're searching for Game of Thrones on YouTube. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notifications. And if you click that little notification bell beside the subscribe button, you'll be notified every time a video goes up or when we go live, like we did for Canadian Nationals. And if you haven't watched that yet, the live stream is up on the channel in the playlist for Canadian Nationals. You can go check out a game on there each round of Swiss, and then a game each round of the cut in a separate video. But these were recorded on the side with separate cameras. So we got lots of Canadian Nationals content coming, and it looks like the Tyrell players open with Time of Plenty, and on the other side we have Late Summer Feast. So 2 summer plots to start here. Initiative would have been won there for sure by the Tyrell player. Not sure who's going first yet, though. And it looks like the Tyrell player's going first. And he's going to take 10 gold, he said there, 6 off his plot. And then, like we said, that 4 gold bonus there off the Arbor and Paxter Redwyn. So getting more gold, the same gold actually as his opponent, who dropped a 9 gold plot to start. And he's got a Rose Road out there as is limited this turn to help him out next round. And even more economy here with the Garden Caretaker to help him get some Tyrell characters on the board. And we have Large Marge out there. So we might see Paxter Redwyn killed here for military claim and replaced with King Renly or Standy Randy, maybe Knight of Flowers, maybe even a Varys. Who knows? Who knows? We have a Lady in Waiting put out there as a duplicate on Large Marge. So with all this economy here on the Tyrell side, he's going to want to take advantage of that Late Summer Feast and probably let his opponent win as many challenges as he wants. So we can just draw more cards and help put some fuel to the fire there.
If he wins a challenge by himself, give a lady a power.
So you just heard Michael explain the card there. That's the one where he wins the challenge by himself. You can give a lady a power. I don't remember what the name is.
10 gold, man.
Is it Knight of the Reach? Yes, it's Knight of the Reach. 3 for 3, military and intrigue, knight traded, non-unique, non-loyal. After you win a challenge in which he's attacking or defending alone, choose a lady character. That character gains 1 power. And we have a Crown of Gold. Marjorie has been promoted to king. And she's going to be -4 strength for now.
Iron Mines for 1.
And we got to watch out with this Targ deck. He's got Plaza of Pride out there. See some cards chucked for some stand. He's got Viserys Targaryen. Help get rid of some attachment removal. And he's got an Iron Mines there for some saves. And a Lord's Port ship right now for some location control, but nothing out there to control. Well, you most likely just need an Intrigue body to help him defend or attack on Intrigue. So we're going to have an Intrigue challenge to start here with Paxter Redwin coming in for 3 strength. And
I forgot to ask you if you had a pre-challenge action.
I do not. I'll let you know.
And the unopposed is blocked there by the Lord's Port Shipwright.
Yep.
So claim.
And he grabs another copy of Viserys Targaryen there. So Marjorie's sitting at 1 strength right now. She has a duplicate, but if that plot, Fire and Blood, I guess it's called, is flipped next turn, the Targaryen plot, that minuses 1 strength from all non-dragon characters. That won't be good for Marjorie Tyrell. Which I'm sure that is what John is trying to set up here.
Do a military challenge.
And Tyrell player being a little aggressive here. He's going to come in on a military. 3 strength. Now, if Marjorie is going to die soon, it doesn't matter if she gets a power. But we're going to have a full block here. Both dragons knelt. Even though he had a gold save, he's knelt both dragons. So the threat of Dracarys is still there, I guess, technically, if those dragons could stand up. But not at this moment. But he did win, and he reminds his opponent, like a gentleman, to draw a card off Late Summer Feast.
You may draw it. It's a forced reaction.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yes, that is true. You do not have to draw, but at least a forced reaction has to be triggered to give the option.
And a power challenge with,
So we got a 1 strength power challenge coming in with Marjorie Tyrell. So I see what he's doing here. He's forcing the opponents on his, forcing the challenges, sorry, on his opponent to put him in that odd spot to either let them through or defend them, and he gives his opponent a card. And then his full board is knelt out, looking nice and juicy for the Targaryen player John to attack, and then he might be able to draw some extra cards.
Claim.
So nothing to claim, of course, on that power challenge, but it is unopposed. Marjorie will get a renown. So 2-0 right now for the Tyrell player.
Any actions?
And Theon's coming in on a military of 2. Remember, characters of higher strength do not count their strength in the challenge. So they got to remember the forced reaction there off Late Summer Feast. He's claimed. I don't know if they'll remember it.
That's your death power?
yeah, sideways is dead.
And now we got a power challenge coming in with Viserys Targaryen. Wins it again, but no trigger off the Late Summer Feast. Come on, John. You remembered it once. But they're forgetting it here twice.
Tied at 1. So nobody wins now.
And no dominance there. Tie on the dominance. The Tyrell player should have 2 more cards. Ah, frustrating.
Are you under reserve?
I am 4 or 5.
Okay.
You?
I'm at 6.
All right, for round 2 plots here, we have Noble Cause into the first snow of winter. So the Tyrell player did have it in his deck. Ouch. And not the burn plot on the Targaryen side like I thought it would be.
Who's going first?
You'll go first.
Okay. Gotcha.
So first snow's going to disrupt things here for the Targaryen side of the board. Unless he can get a couple bigger characters out on the board. Because right now everyone's going back to hand. Except on the Tyrell side, looks like we'll have Paxter and Marjorie sticking around. I think that Knight is only 3 costs, so he's going to go back to hand.
I'm going to play Danny.
And Daenerys is played out there
5.
for
Okay.
basically all the money except for 1 from the Rose Road should be left. Yep. And she gets a dupe. That's great to see on a first snow turn, but he needs one more character out there to protect her from a march coming out next round on the Tyrell side. This might not be good. Because Drogon's not duped there. That's just Viserion hiding under there.
I'll get 3
I bet he wished he had that Viserion dupe out there now and not in his discard pile from that intrigue claim last round, so he could save him from going back to hand. Looks like he didn't draw in any more dupes there for Theon or Viserion or the dragons.
I didn't draw yet. 6 cards. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, looks like a Tyrell player just may have forgotten to draw there, so he just drew. And if he didn't, at least he just drew 2 cards, which he was owed from last round. And another limited, more economy, great haul, and it gets knelt right away by the Lore Sport Shipwright. So this late summer feast, you know if you've been watching videos here for a while, you know that's a pet peeve of mine, that plot, how it gets forgotten a lot in games, and it's kind of fishy. You don't know if the opponent's forgetting, or I mean the player who's playing is forgetting, and then of course he's not going to remind his opponent. Some players do. I try to do as much as I can, because forced reactions are supposed to happen. But I don't know if it's like, is that a design flaw in the game? Just because you put the word forced in front of reaction, you know, the game is supposed to trigger it, quote unquote. But you have to, both players have to remember, and there's already a lot to remember in your hand and on the rest of the board. So I mean, sometimes you'll just forget, and what your plots do, especially when it doesn't happen. Like a when revealed makes sense. You flip, it happens, and you forget about it, and that's what we're used to doing, even from first edition. That was the standard. But I guess there are plots with passive effects that keep applying throughout the round, but those ones get forgotten also. Those ones don't get remembered. So I don't know if there needs to be kind of a shift in the game where maybe like the Tyrell player, they're keeping the plots right in the middle, so they're always scanned by your eyeballs as you're going across the board there, maybe. But we see first snow. We got Brienne out there now who's going to stick around from first snow. So the Tyrell board looking pretty juicy right now. Yes, Marjorie's only 1 strength, but she's still around. She can still trigger if Paxter dies. But no military icon across the board, so that might not happen. And no challenges from the Targaryen player, John. He passes over to the Tyrell player. And we got military with Brienne coming in here. Looking to get rid of a dupe off of Daenerys. Or maybe getting rid of that Iron Mines. And the dupe goes away. And back to Late Summer Feast. I don't know if there's another design option you could do where it's like, I don't know if you could put a punishment built in those cards where it's forced reaction, or, you know, in the rules when you go to flip that plot, if the players realize they forgot, then, you know, both players get punished somehow. But then, you know, that could slow down the game, I guess. Like forcing players to remove power or sack characters or whatever. Either way, all that stuff slows down the game. So I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but I don't know. There's got to be something there. I'd love to hear a discussion on that mechanic in the game, the forced reactions. It's hard to say who forgot it, who didn't trigger it, all that kind of stuff. Or even passive abilities in general, if players forget them, because they're kind of always happening. Like the game is making them happen. And yes, it is both players' responsibility, but I don't know how you do that in a card game to like force both players to remember, or else it's, you know, it's very bad for them. Looks like an intrigue challenge coming in here unopposed also. And he grabs that Viserys Targaryen, who went back to hand. And the Tyrell player stops there. He does not want to go in with Dany standing and a gold save where Dany could burn with Dracarys. And he most likely was going after Marjorie Tyrell, and he knew not to put her into a challenge. And it looks like some cards have to be chucked here for taxation on the Targaryen side, since he put his entire board back in his hand of characters. Gets rid of a Lord Sport Shipwright and a copy of Theon. And are we going to see a March to the Wall come out here and get rid of Paxter and Daenerys? Yeah, Michael's doing this proper. He's doing his challenges with Paxter there, putting him in front of, in the threat. And you feel a little comfortable when you're playing Marjorie Tyrell. I played her for a while earlier in the regional season with the Banner Lion deck. You feel a lot more comfortable against Targaryen just having Marjorie out there as protection against the kill of Dracarys. You're going to throw your lords and kings in the way, and You're okay, because you'll probably just replace them. Just got to watch out for those nightmares or milk of the poppies. So we have counting coppers on the left and a political disaster on the right, so they're going to choose 2 locations, discard the rest. And the Tyrell player is going to draw 3 extra cards.
Power, right? Actually, we're tied for power, too.
So they got to flip a coin here. They're tied on initiative and tied on power. Both sitting at 4. They're going to do an awkward coin flip here.
Sorry. All right. Your first player.
So it sounds like it's up to the Targaryen player John here on the right to decide who's going first. And he's chosen Michael, the Tyrell player, to go first.
Doesn't matter.
When revealed?
So let's just trigger yours first.
Okay. Scar Plaza. Keep these 2. Yeah.
So they slim down to 2 locations, leaving the Arbor and a Great Hall on the Tyrell side.
That's why you do yours first, so you can see what locations you call.
Yeah. Damn. All right, my bad.
That's all good.
And on the other side, we have a Iron Mines and the Rose Road saved. Looks like Plaza of Pride was chuck there.
Attention, Netrunner players, I have roll play. Draw face.
Please go up there and make sure that your name is on that list. If your name is not on that list and you are present, please come see me. I will be posting one hearings at 3 p.m.
5 plus 2, 7 gold.
So the Tyrell player here working with 7 economy right now, if counting coppers there. Not bad. Not bad at all. Actually, should it be more? 3 on the Arbor, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that's right. And he's got Garden Caretaker out there now. So no range triggers yet. Hasn't been able to win that intrigue challenge by 5. Maybe that's what the Crown of Gold was just put on her for, is to shrink down that intrigue strength so that range trigger can go off. That's probably what John was trying to do there, actually. Makes sense. We now know there's no March to the Wall in this Tyrell deck, that's for sure. Looks like we have Renly's Pavilion in play. That's the one that you can kneel to reduce a character's strength by 1 and add 1 strength to a character. And the Knight of the Reach has made a return. And Lord Support Shipwright's back. He's kneeling to take down that Renly's Pavilion.
What do you need?
Is this? Hang on, sorry. Yeah, kneel that. Get out of the way. Viserion. Give her stealth.
So Viserion's back, and like we just heard John say there, Danny's got stealth again. And sits on a gold.
I'm first, eh?
So there's probably a Jakar sitting in the hand of John there. I just bet you there is. And he is waiting. He is waiting for Marjorie Tyrell to stick her neck out. And burn her face. But I don't know if that's the best case scenario. I mean, it'd be alright to get rid of Marjorie. For sure you want to get rid of her. But if she never goes into challenge, she'll just sit on those Jakars the whole time. It's not really helping you out. I mean, you don't want to kill a Lord. I mean, but sometimes you just have to. And the Jakaris was there and grabbed on an intrigue claim. If you don't use it, you lose it. And now we got a military coming in with the Knight of the Reach. 3 strength.
2.
Yes, for 2.
Actually 2 with Danny standing, my bad. And it's tied 2-2 with the defense of Viserion there. And claim a 1 kills Viserion, first character in the dead pile on the Targaryen side. And it's a dragon. If only he had a way to get those back into play. So Michael perusing the options in his hand there. Lots of cards. Lots he can do. Just reading some of his Tyrell cards.
Play Growing Strong for free.
So he's going to use Pax of Red One's ability to play a Growing Strong for 0. This is the first event he's played this phase here. So it looks like he gave +2 to the Garden Caretaker, Brienne, and Marjorie Tyrell.
Power challenge.
And Marjorie's going in on a challenge.
Just so Marjorie doesn't die as soon as she starts.
And like he said, he did that because Danny is given the -1 strength, and she would die instantly as soon as Marjorie went in the challenge there, since she's sitting at 1 strength. If she becomes 0, then the Crown of Gold would kill her. So I totally missed that, and that's also another reason why he wouldn't use Marjorie on a challenge. So no defenders here on this power challenge. And we're going to have a couple renown gain here, plus an unopposed. And claim. So looks like the Tyrell player Michael's up to 9 power. Only 3 on the Targaryen side. And time for the Targaryens to do challenges. We got a power challenge with Daenerys coming in for 5. Looks like the unopposed getting blocked by the Garden Caretaker.
I guess I still lose because it's 5 versus 3.
So claim.
And Danny's going to get him a draw here off Insight.
Action.
And there's that Fire and Blood, bringing that dragon back in play.
Military.
Now, maybe Viserion coming back in before that? Unless, oh, maybe he just drew into the Fire and Blood with Insight, so never mind what I'm about to say. I was giving Danny stealth first. I was thinking about stealth in that Garden Caretaker, but, I mean, if he just drew into Fire and Blood off Danny's Insight, that's a baller play there. Nice top deck. And going to Dominance. Looks like the Tyrell player saving a gold there. He's going to take Dominance, giving him 9 power again, and 5 on the Targaryen side. And make sure you stay tuned to the channel. We got lots more coming up from Canadian Nationals. 2 games per round, at least, pending any SD card defects or anything. But I did record a couple games each round, so those will be up on the channel, plus a couple games from the top 8. Basically a bunch of games that weren't on the live stream, and so plenty more content. Stay tuned. So Summer Harvest into Valar Morghulis. Interesting.
You good for reserve?
Looks like the Tyrell player sitting on no characters in hand, just locations, events, and attachments. Tyrell player thinking about who's going first here. And he chooses the Targaryen player to go first.
Okay. We'll do your one revealed first. So then Valar, using Iron Mines.
So Iron Mines on Danny. And I'm sure the lady in waiting will save Marjorie. Brienne packs her Garden Caretaker, and the Knight of the Reach are all dead.
So I'm going to make 3 gold.
So we have 3 gold to work with here on the Targaryen side for marshalling. We get Rhaegal out there with a dupe. That's going to help Danny get some extra challenges. Great on the small board. Hopefully get some more card draw flowing here for the Targaryen player. Get him back into this game. The Tyrell player only up by 2 power right now. And it looks like we got a Pleasure Barge played on the on the Tyrell side. So draw 3 cards. And now he's counting his gold after that. Hopefully doesn't mess it up with that -1 being on the board. Always collect your gold first in marshalling before you play anything, even 0 cost cards. Seen people goof that up, putting a Rose Road out first, then collecting their gold. So looks like he drew into Mance Raider and Sir Garland Tyrell. He's got a couple dupes there for the Arbor. Teehee, teehee. But he's played a limited now, Rose Garden. So we cannot dupe that arbor. And we got Mance Raider in there spending the big bucks. No Marjorie tricks. He's just played straight up. That's a rarity to see in these Tyrell decks. Usually Mance is just a sneaky choice after, you know, you've run out of lords to pull. He is no slouch, though. 5 strength, all 3 icons. He has renown. It's a pretty good body. I'm not sure if we can get anything else out on the board character-wise. And that might not be good for a military challenge. Oh, never mind. 0 claim. What am I thinking? And yes, I know Mance can block the military, but... Oh, and no gold for Jakaris. Never mind. Never mind. Brain fart. Brain fart. And Mr. Garland Tyrell, yes. He is only 2, so he can afford him with the Rose Garden there. And sits on a gold, it looks like. But he could play that attachment he's been sitting on all game. I forget what it is, but it's the one where you can chuck cards to increase strength. Crown of Golden Roses, I want to say. Yes, it is. Lord character only, though, which doesn't apply to anyone on the board, so never mind that. This Mance is only a king and a wildling. I think John's passed here on challenges. Over to the Tyrell player here. Just trying to use Danny on the defense here. Stand her up. Block a couple challenges. We have a military of 4 coming in. Danny standing, -1 strength, blocked by Rygel. But looks like we're going to have an event played here. Lord Renly's Ride, adding +5 strength to Mance, and getting Intimidate. Had to pay for the event this time since Paxter's not hanging around to offer a discount. So he wins 9-3. Claim is obviously the dupe on Rygel. And he wins enough to intimidate Daenerys, obviously, and takes a renown. And now we get an unopposed intrigue of 1 strength. And another renown. And an unopposed power challenge coming in. So 12 power on the Tyrell side to 4 on the Targaryen side. Not looking good for the Targaryen player.
Okay, so tie for Dom. I was... Okay, I'm within reserve.
Same here. 4 or 5.
And we got double close call. So both players looking to move a character from the dead pile to the discard pile and draw a card.
Draw a card.
Draw a card and then draw.
Did John draw anything to get him back in this game here? Something to kill Marjorie Tyrell and knock the Tyrell player down 3 power would be nice. He didn't draw another Jakaris. I think he needs to save a gold to threaten that Jakaris.
Great haul for 1.
It's a great haul out there. Let's see if we can get someone decent on the board. Asha Greyjoy is pretty good.
Sit on one.
And saves a gold. The only problem is his opponent's getting a ton of gold here. And he drew into, looks like Brienne, who is... Oh no, it's Randall Tarley, actually. Which is not good.
Okay, so I get 5 plus 4.
Yep.
These cancel out.
So 9 gold to work with on the Tyrell side. Can definitely get Randall Tarley on the board and most likely close this thing out.
Randall Tarly.
4 gold to play with. He's got another character in hand at least. Now we should play that attachment out. Crown of Golden Roses, throw it in Randall Tarley. Get some extra stand out of him. He's got some Arbor dupes there he can chuck for sure.
Your first.
Looks like he's debating doing it, and I think he should. Come on, Michael, put the attachment on Randall. Just do it. Just do it, man. Can afford to chuck a card, give him +2 strength, stand him up. Why not? Can even win a challenge on defense, get some renown, stand him up, come back on offense. Assuming he doesn't get stealth by Asha.
Yeah, I just need 3 power.
So John's telling him basically to hurry up. He's going to win this turn anyway, so not to stress. Just pick a card. And Michael's thinking, yeah, I need 3 power, so you're probably right. And he does play the attachment. Crown of Golden Roses there. Can chuck a card and get +X strength. X is the number of challenge icons on that character. And we got Asha coming in. Not sure which challenge. And Mansa's going to come in on the defense. That would be 4-4. Daenerys is standing. And it looks like...
He's 0 power, so it's unopposed. Okay. Reaction, stand.
So I guess it's military. And Garland jumped in front, but he's -1, so it'd be 0. So still unopposed, and Asha stands. He is Tyrell player sitting on a Nightmares. He could have Nightmares Asha there. And he's realizing that. Yeah, he's going to use his Renly Civilian that's been sitting down there. He's going to give a +1 on Garland and a -1, I think, on Danny there.
Just this challenge? And a face. Okay. Claim.
And it's not unopposed. Claim is Garland. And we got an intrigue with Rhaegal. Which I don't think it's the best thing to go super aggressive here. I think he should have been playing pretty defensively. I mean, Danny, yes, can defend a couple challenges and stand, but we're getting a growing strong here, though.
Yep.
And, of course, only on Randall and Marjorie.
I will Hand's Judgment.
And we get a Hand's Judgment on the growing strong, though. And we get a Nightmares on Daenerys. The event's just flying out here. So no defense on the intrigue challenge, unopposed, going to the Targaryen player.
That's intrigue, not power.
And he accidentally claims a power, but it's a card. And it looks like it's the Olenna's Informant.
Power, good game.
And John's just going to concede. And good game for Michael, and closing it out there, even though Marjorie had that threat on her from the start of the game, the Crown of Gold. John did a good job there to keep the pressure on, but I mean, that economic start was just way too much for the Tyrell side of things, and he had the card draw. Yeah, he didn't even need to march Danny, and he still closed it out well. Either way, that was a great game, and we got more coming up from Canadian Nationals, so make sure you stay tuned. And like I said, subscribe if you're new here. Slap that like button. Don't be afraid to leave comments below. And share these videos on social media. All the support's appreciated. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate you guys just being here watching. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.